want to introduce you to one of the members here that's following the model, and he can share a little bit about how he's doing. Steve, will you come on up?
Give Steve a hand. All right. Yeah, you just got one there.
Welcome, Steve.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? How'd you find Lifestyles?
You got to hold it really high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work in IT.
You're full of it too.
Hopefully not too much longer, but I have a day job, W-2 job. And I'm working my way towards having enough passive income to retire. And joined Lifestyles about almost 5 years ago. And my wife and I are in some passive deals in multifamily and also single family. Single family is the most active for us lately, but if some opportunities arise, I'd love to go IRO at some point.
And I know you don't know what these words mean. I'll teach you this weekend. But an IRO is if you buy an apartment by yourself with no other partners. Who likes the idea of doing that? Because we'll teach you how to do that as well. Okay.
And what else?
We just want to know what you're doing.
Okay. I have some hobbies. I like I have a pretty busy day job and taking care of real estate, and I swim competitively, and I play trumpet in a local orchestra. So
cool.
I'm busy, but that's the way I like it. So
What do you rank when you're swimming?
I told him before. We had a national meet a month ago, and I got third in my age group.
Oh, that's awesome.
In nationals. So
That's impressive. That's great.
And he can toot his own horn.
yes. Yes.
All right. So tell us why you joined Lifestyles.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard about Lifestyles from a coworker
Yeah.
at my current job, and I thought, well, that sounds pretty good. And so I started with a 401k withdrawal with our vendor who does that kind of
Henry
thing.
Novak?
Henry Novak.
So you did a quadro?
Yep.
I'll teach. Who would like to get, you might have heard this, you can only pull out $50,000 for 50%, whichever is less. Anybody heard that on your 401k, your current job? What if you can move it all 100 grand, 200 grand? Who'd like all their money now? Come to my seminar this weekend, I'll teach you how you can do that. It's called a quadro.
Yep. So that was almost 5 years ago, and so we have these passive deals, and at present, 9 rental houses. And
You hear how excited he got? 9 rental houses.
9 rental
This is what these conservative type B personalities are. 9 rental houses.
engineer, yeah.
Engineer, yep.
Yeah.
It's impressive. All right.
Okay.
And so this is my, not my latest, but second latest acquisition in Waxahachie, and it was in rough shape when I bought it. Yeah. But I employed a Lifestyles vendor to rehab it, and this is what it looks like. You'll see some more pictures in the next few slides, but it's tons better. Yeah, the kitchen was in shambles, old appliances and dirty and bugs, and here's the new layout. And that's with the guest bathroom and before and after.
Who agrees it looks way better? Dell teaches us called best product, best price, service, best people, particular price point. We buy ugly things, we turn around and make it beautiful. Okay?
Yeah, much nicer.
And of course, I don't just jump into these deals. I consult my mentors.
Yep, very good.
He's good at that.
And I ask them lots of questions. We have 3 mentors here in North Texas, and they all do a great job. So they've all answered my questions, and I really appreciate it.
So you notice all these people are fiscally conservative. They want to get it right, so they formed a team around them. So here's what we teach here at Lifestyles. Do it for yourself. I want you to make all the money. But don't do it by yourself. Hire people, write checks for everything. I love when they do that, you understand? Did you work on this house yourself? You did all that work yourself?
Actually, I mowed the lawn a little bit.
He mowed the lawn. He shouldn't have been on the lawn, but
He lives close by to this one.
Yeah, it's close. I did clean up the yard a little bit, but that's it. I didn't have to, but I wanted
right.
to.
See, one thing we teach, Dell teaches this. Every time you lift the hammer, you lose money. You understand that? He's in IT. He makes a lot of money in IT. Mowing your yard is an $8 an hour job. I don't know why he would do that. But sometimes you just got to do that before you go swimming. So, you know.
I swim at 5 in the morning, so.
Oh, 5 in the morning.
Get done.
Okay.
So the purchase price for this property was $112, and rehab was pretty close to 100.
Yeah, big fixer-upper.
And with that, after all that work, it appraised for 267. And I was at the first closing, I was 23 out of pocket, and just 3,000 out of pocket when on the refi,
Why was that? What changed?
because it appraised $27,000 higher than the
Who'd
hard
be
money
okay with
appraisal.
that?
Yeah.
Make an extra 27 grand.
So the hard money appraisal was 240, but when it was done, it came in at 267. So that was nice.
That kept his cash out of pocket pretty low on this
Yeah.
one.
So guys, think about this. How many people in the room could come up with 25 grand basically? Who would love to turn it into 55 grand right away? Would that not be life-changing? Okay? Give him a hand for that, because that's a huge deal.
And I have a signed lease for $1,900 a month, so I'm happy about that. They move in October.
So this is a new deal that you just did?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
Who likes that we're showing a deal that just happened? In today's market, at the high interest rates, oh my God, it's horrible out there. But yet this guy's making $300 a month or a 16% return tax-free. Give him a hand, that's
Excellent.
huge.
Excellent.
That's like a grand slam in this economy.
And I did use, for the refinance, for conventional 30-year note, I used Lifestyles Finance.
Okay, Lifestyles Finance.
Kim
yeah.
is here somewhere. She got me a great rate.
Is Kim
for
here?
Today's
Kim
market,
Sporak?
3.65. Or sorry,
Hiding back there somewhere?
6.65.
6.6, oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that helped your cash flow.
Yeah. Helped my cash flow quite a bit.
Here, you can do it. It's the bottom one. Goes
So
in there.
these are 5 of my, in order, my properties.
How you bought them in order?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got some equity there. I haven't sold any yet. That's probably my next step.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'll give you a hug
Did you do
later.
a refi on one?
The earlier ones have better cash flow because of the lower interest rate.
Right.
All right. And here's the rest of them. The other 4.
But guys, how much is he making a year? $40,000 a year. That's like a what, a $60,000, $70,000 job if you had to pay taxes? He gave himself a raise. Give him a hand for that. That's huge.
That's awesome. And when did you buy this last one? On Wyatt Street.
Yeah, this one is in hard money right now.
Okay.
And I closed last week on it, and it's a lighter rehab, only about 45 to 50,000 rehab. So we'll see what the interest rate is when I'm ready to refi. It should be ready in about 6 weeks. So
See how they're glancing over this big number here?
Yeah.
He made an extra $500,000. Who'd be happy with that? And if he sold these, because you can't get rich slow, and bought one apartment as an IRO by himself, we could turn that $500,000 into $1 million in a year or two. Would that be life-changing for him? That might be your next step, because you mentioned you might want to be an IRO.
might be.
You see how excited he is?
We'll see. Have to run the numbers.
It's all about the numbers, though.
Excellent, excellent returns.
I love it. I
Just
love
short
it.
5 years. A lot of these you just bought recently too. All right.
And,
So how's lifestyles changed your life?
Well, I don't have, I'm not ready to retire yet, but I am on the way. And if I lost my job for some reason, it's not a panic situation. I could pay bills and continue without a big panic. So that's huge for me.
So work's become a little more optional at this point.
A little more, yeah.
Okay, getting
Yeah.
It lets
closer.
you sleep a little bit better at night knowing you have that extra $50,000 a year coming in, right?
Right, right.
All right. That's what we try and teach you. In 5 years, we'll try to get you there and retire you. All right. So tell us a little bit about your goals. Short term, what do you got going?
Well, short term would be either keep investing in single family, or if the opportunity arises, a small apartment complex and,
Awesome.
and move up from there. And long term, retire from W-2. Well, hopefully short term actually, retire from W-2, but invest in more multifamily and pass on a passive side and keep that passive income going. And single family is more work than passive income. So that's my goal, is eventually move into passive investments entirely and live comfortably.
That's great. Well, you're on your way. I've seen Steve get excited over the years, and He's been buying faster and faster. Every time I turn around, he's got
See how
another
excited
house.
he is? You don't realize there was some jumping the steps there.
That's right. So did you do all this by yourself, or did you have some help?
I had a lot of help.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about
Again,
who was on your team.
All three North Texas mentors were great. I appreciate all of them. They didn't necessarily all help on this particular deal that I talked about, but they've helped throughout the process. And Integrity, Lee Siegel with Integrity Insurance has been great. I think he does all my insurance for all insurance for my properties. Red Door Funding, they're down near Houston, but they did hard money for me on this deal. And our Lifestyles Finance isn't on here. They did the refinance.
Okay.
REA Solutions, Carlos, he's a local GC, and he's done work on my last 3 houses and does a great job. Really responsive and does good work. And Burris Tree Service, if some of these houses had a lot of tree overgrowth and bushes and just a mess. So Donnie Burris was a big help with clearing all that.
Did he bring those little beavers out there?
I think he has a 5-man crew or
cut
something.
down the
but-
forest? Yeah. All right. Well, that's awesome, Steve. Knowing what you know now, what would you tell some of these new people that are here for the first time?
I would encourage people to get started and buy one at least and see how it goes. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, and I think you run the numbers and get help, the appropriate help and advice, and chances are it's going to go very well for you.
Yeah, we'll hold your hand through that. Sometimes that first one is the hardest one to get under your belt. Well, great. Do we have any questions for Steve or about his property?
The question was, do you manage them by yourself or do you hire somebody else to do it?
I do self-manage. I self-manage. Most of them are fairly close to me, and they don't require a lot of management. I self-manage, and I lease them myself because, for the most part, I have used realtors on a couple. I have a couple down near Houston, and I used a realtor to lease those out. But the close ones, I list on Apartments.com, and it's worked out well. My 3 Waxahachie properties.
And do you monitor them all through a spreadsheet?
I do keep track of things on a spreadsheet. Yeah.
Yeah. And we can teach you how to self-manage if that's what you choose to do.
Yep.
It's not too hard. Any other questions for Steve?
That was a great question.
All right.
No?
Any online?
Anybody online back there?
Yes, Marlene is asking, can you give a general overview of what's included in the out-of-pocket costs?
Out-of-pocket costs, it's mainly just the loans, hard money loans, and there are some expenses, like I paid Donnie Burris cash tree trimming. It was a relatively small amount. So
Generally, let me help you. A little bit is closing costs. Sometimes it's whatever the hard money loan doesn't cover on your rehab. So those are the kind of things that add up on your
So
cash out of
I will
pocket.
simplify it even more. We'll use round numbers. A hard money lender, for those of you who are new, is a specialized lender. They're going to lend you all the money to buy the property, plus all the money to fix it up to a certain percentage, typically 70%. So let's say a house is worth, fixed up, $200,000. 70% of $200,000 is $140,000. So if he could buy it for $100,000 and he needs $40,000 to fix it up, that'd be the $140,000. Anything above that number comes out of his pocket. So when he says $22,000 or $26,000 out of pocket, that's the actual money he had to go to closing with and come up with. But Dave, he had like a $90,000 rehab. Where'd that money come from? That banker is holding that money in escrow. And as his people are doing all the work, he gets to pay them through what's called a draw, and they send out inspectors to make sure the work's done right. And I'm going to break down all these steps, step by step, simply so you can understand it. So I know I took a little bit longer for that, but if you're new, you're like, wait, he has to put 20% down? No, he does not. Whatever is the total money he had to come up with, and that's why I said, how many people in the room could come up with 25 grand? You could have bought this deal. Does that make sense to everybody? You can all do this. Who wants to go buy houses tomorrow? You should. There you go.
I think that's everything.
That's it? All right. Give these guys a hand. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
thank you.